scriptwriter and producer, Mother Nature.
Last time on Wildlife Diary, a tragedy reduced Melissa's litter from 5 cubs to 3. The wild dogs brought down an impala. A cheeky blackback jackal forced Lisa to defend a meal. And Lolly sneaked away from the other hyenas for a midnight rendezvous. Researchers report that Melissa is recovering well from the shock of losing 2 cubs. The 3 survivors are doing just fine so far. But the huge question mark over their future remains. Will Melissa manage to defy the odds and raise at least one of the cubs to maturity? Young Flippy is still at odds with the herd. His bad behavior hasn't exactly endeared him to anyone. This time, Duchess and Biggles proudly show off their family. Janina runs into trouble, and her name is Tia. Koba and Shungu put an end to the meat shortage. And Maggie's worst nightmare comes to pass. The Mundulia section recently hosted a happy return to cooperative hunting in true wild dog fashion. After causing a fight between Alf and Biggles, Duchess mediated a reconciliation. She then led her newly bonded task team on an important mission. The only ones to regret the peace deal were the impala. The dog's success was greeted with some relief by Duchess, mindful of all the hungry pups waiting for milk and scraps back at the den. Once more, Duchess played a pivotal role in the pack's survival. If she had to leave the important stuff to Alf and Biggles, nothing would ever get done. The new day carries a feeling of anticipation. Something's about to go down, or rather, come up. Biggles pokes his head in at the den, only to be told to butt out. Some distance away, Alf feigns disinterest. The excitement below says it all. The 2 males wait patiently. But Alf can't help himself and moves closer. Biggles and Duchess refuse to tolerate his approach to the den at this critical juncture. Alf gets the message and retreats. Fresh air for the new pups, and it's crack open the champagne. The proud father monitors the pup's progress. Alf wisely watches the action from a non-threatening location. Alf hangs back reluctantly, but it's for the best. If he should interact with the pups on their first outing, there might be another fight. The litter stands at 6 strong, an enormous success achieved against all odds. A wild dog pack with only 3 adults is vulnerable in itself. 6 extra mouths to feed and watch over will stretch the already strained resources to breaking point. Alf may just weasel in a bit of contact with the little ones. Once the pups get used to life outside the den and Duchess's first-time motherhood jitters die down. But today's not the day for introductions. As one of the youngsters gets too close, Biggle steps in and not too subtly hints that Alf should take a hike. The life of the pack enters a new phase with the pup's emergence. Will they survive the many dangers lurking in every corner of an unfamiliar world? Still to come, Yanina makes a kill. And the lads, Cobra and Shungu, go hunting. Last time in the Minati, a new development added to R'Lani's already overflowing list of problems. Not only did Tia's hyena clan move into the area, but a male intruder has scattered his unmistakable scent around the place. The rasping grunts of the foreigner signal the final passing of the golden age in his empire. A shy leopard cub sired by R'Lani waits for Mum. Yanina appears well fed. She must have a kill somewhere. The soft, gentle call triggers the desired response. While Yanina hunts, the youngsters never stray far from a secure hiding place. Her second cub realizes belatedly that Mother has delivered something edible. This meal should last the family a good couple of days, providing they hang on to it. The cub rests after gorging herself, while her brother arrives to claim his share. But before long, an unwelcome visitor chases him up a tree. The cub's uncertainty about what to do prompts him to call for his mother. Yanina hears the cry for help just as night falls. She soon identifies the culprit. Tia has displaced the cub off the kill. Yanina assesses the situation. If she doesn't act now, there'll be nothing left at the rate Tia is demolishing the leftovers. Enough is enough. Yanina circles in to put a stop to this nonsense. With Tia out of the way, Yanina does what she should have done in the first place and trees the carcass. The other cub remains down below, and Yanina decides to join her, just in case the hyenas get any funny ideas. At last, the meal continues. There's no way the hyena can possibly interfere now. After helping himself to a bellyful for the better part of the night, the cub descends and heads off to find his family. It won't be long before the cub accompanies Janina wherever she goes. They will rely on her for food, education and safety until about 2 years of age. Time for breakfast. Having digested part of the previous sitting, one of the cubs returns to the carcass to top up. It's a precarious business, trying to reach the juicy bits while perching like a parrot. As the male cub grows in strength and maturity, the chances of coming into conflict with his father increase. Rulani has proven fatally intolerant of any territorial threat, even from his own offspring. Will the young male survive this threat? The Mandulia section has been hard on the cheetah coalition this winter. Koba and Shungu last killed and ate over a week ago. Since then, hunger and weakness have overshadowed their hunting activities. The situation has now reached a critical state. The cheetahs must hunt successfully, or soon they will not have the energy to do so. They conserve their resources by resting as much as possible. But at the same time, they remain alert to opportunities. Something has caught their attention. Clearly, nothing of sufficient interest to warrant a closer look. Again, something alerts Koba, and he rises to read the situation. The cheetah takes off. Experience tells him that where there's a giraffe, there'll be other herbivores. Grazing animals hang around giraffes to benefit from the early warning system built into the end of a long, high neck. The giraffe spots Koba. The wildebeest take their cue from the giraffe and head for safety. But it's not over yet. Koba and Shungu have other plans in the pipeline. Success at last. The impala kill will more than fill 2 empty cheetah bellies. The boys are nervous. Other predators easily displace cheetahs from their kill. Shungu remains on high alert, while Koba fills up. The impala herd distracts Koba, who now stands guard while Shungu feeds. Koba rounds off his feast with a bushveld dessert speciality, impala feces. This serves as a digestive aid and replaces the microflora in the cheetah's gut. Another theory postulates that eating the feces helps to disguise their smell on the hunt. Time to relax after a heavy meal. The boys have moved away from the kill to digest their food in peace. Cobra seeks out a comfortable spot to park his hefty stomach. He scrapes away the top heated layer of soil to create a cool place of rest. The brothers look forward to the spring when the herbivores calve in great numbers and provide good hunting. But can they outlast the winter? Still to come, Felix and Zero finally get to meet Maggie's cubs. The Chippenberry section recently witnessed a wildebeest kill. Expertly brought down by Maggie, the feast was enjoyed by all. But then Felix and Zero arrived, claiming their hierarchical right to the food. Fortunately, Maggie and her cubs had retired by this time. Felix is not to be trusted around the cubs. Not at all. Some days later, a giraffe kill brings the pride together. Maggie knows she cannot hide her cubs from the adult males forever. She needs to rejoin the pride. She yearns for its social structure and the security it provides. Lisa's sub-adult offspring anticipate the arrival of Felix and Zero. So does Maggie. She shifts her cubs to a safer distance from the carcass. Zero is first onto the kill, while Felix works up his appetite. Limo and Luma return to feed. They know that Zero has a far more placid and tolerant attitude than Felix. Zero raises bushy eyebrows momentarily at the cheek of the sub-adults, but he soon gets over it. Felix soon dives in. Suddenly, the lives of the sub-adults hang in the balance. Luma predicts trouble and takes himself out of the firing line. Maggie observes Felix's ill temper with dread. The chastised Limu moves away. Felix has got his due, the whole carcass for Zero and himself. A nervous Limu slinks over to a safe place as the males guzzle their way through the giraffe. Maggie is hungry, but she can't risk leading her cubs onto the kill until Felix and Zero have satisfied themselves. The worried mother monitors the situation closely. Her cubs watch the pride's activities with great curiosity. They can barely wait to join in the fun. Limo thinks twice about rejoining the meal. But Maggie analyzes the situation perfectly. Just as the males finish up, she leads a hungry brood over to the kill. With Felix and Zero having eaten their fill and moved away, the threat to the cubs has diminished. But the males have never seen the cubs before, and the situation remains volatile and unpredictable. Zero shows no interest in the cubs. The protective lioness warns Luma. Still, Zero remains put. The tense Maggie monitors every mood and nuance of the situation. The one she has to look out for is the unpredictable Felix. The pride feasts well into the evening. The afternoon passed without incident, but what will the hours of darkness bring? Male lions instinctively kill cubs sired by other males. Even though Felix and Zero operate as a close-knit team, there's a small possibility that one or other may fail to recognize the cubs as their offspring. The cubs frolic, oblivious to the danger, while their anxious mother remains on tenterhooks. The unsuspecting Luma receives a tongue lashing for being friendly. Maggie tries to settle her boisterous brood. Their antics could just prove life-threatening. Suddenly, the situation spirals out of Maggie's control as Felix demands an interview with the little ones. Lisa cleverly diffuses the tension. She flirts outrageously with Felix, exploiting her alluring estrus scent to the hilt. Felix forgets about the cubs and follows her. But Maggie can't relax. One of her cubs innocently bounds straight over to Felix, oblivious to the potential danger. She watches in horror as both her offspring dice with death. Maggie decides to act, but it's too late. Fortunately, Felix's irritation at the cubs proved harmless, and Maggie manages to lead her little ones out of danger. The youngsters are safe for now, but there will be other encounters with Felix and Zero. Will the cubs get through this dangerous time, or will they fall victim to Felix's bad temper?